Hello, everybody. This is Rain Money, and I'm hoping that I have people here for my scheduled talk. This is regarding the etymology of the N word, and later on about high glucose issues. Yesterday, I was in a bunch of panels where they had good discussions regarding these two topics. I just want to provide some insight to them. So, yesterday, I was listening to three people talk, and one person of Jamaican descent, or he's Jamaican, he said the N word with the ER. And I had a question in the panel why he even said it in the first place, and they got a little bit educational. Sorry, I'm burping. That's why you're wondering if I'm pausing him. Yeah, I don't want to be burping. If I had a mic, I would feel so disgusting right now. But anyway, I had to inform them on what the etymology, which is etymology is the breakdown and origin of a word, and then that's how you get into the linguistics of it, the pronunciation, the enunciation of it. What is the root of a lot of these languages, such as English, Latin, and Greek, for example? Spanish, Portuguese, French. Because I used to speak French a little bit. I still read it and write it, but my speaking it, it's not there. I gotta relearn it. I realized Latin was a heavy base for it. The word Niger, which is a name of a country in Africa that's in, say, North Central Africa, the Latin word is Latin for black. That's what it is. And a lot of European countries, such as people in Italy, Portugal, Spain, etc., they will call a black person a Negro. That's what they used to. There was this one famous soccer player that used to play for Manchester United, Luis Suarez, who ended up playing for Barcelona FC to form the three-headed monster with Neymar and Lionel Messi. He recalled when his grandma used to call people Negro. And that always made me curious to learn more about it because I remember in a Kobe Bryant documentary, well, this ESPN documentaries that they used to do in the early 2000s, Sports Century, I think that's what it's called. If you remember, Kobe talked about his time in Italy when he first got there, when he was 5 to 7. Did he experience hearing someone say that about his family, and that took him back because he never heard anything like that before. Because he was born and mostly raised in Philadelphia, so it was really shocking for him to hear that. So one of the first accounts that I read that stated about people using the term Negro was in the 1400s when Portuguese sailors were trying to go to India and they ended up going what they called Negro land. That's how they defined it. Because they saw a bunch of dark skinned folks. And since the word is derived from the Latin word Niger, which means black, it makes sense why people that are called Negro would associate that with Niger. So the true origin of the of the racist term, the Nigger, was derived from those two that meant black. It just so happened to in the 1700s when slave owners, plantation owners, ended up calling African Americans that were in the States that as a derogatory term, adding the extra G, enunciating in a way that illustrates the hate that they had for their slaves. And there's early counts that in the late 1800s, early 1900s, that black people would call each other the N word with the A, nigga. And that's the thing. I personally, it's weird because I get what people pointing at is about. Hey, you shouldn't be saying that word. You're trying to reclaim power into something that was said to use against African Americans that were your ancestors that were slaves. But Be honest with you, who's this that's trying to join? No, I'm gonna reject that. Sorry. Anyway, I understand that premise that you shouldn't be using a word that your ancestors or people that you believe that your ancestors, because you gotta do a DNA test, you never really know, that were captured and used repeatedly, and the word was used against them, then try to use another derivative of that word to reclaim the power. But then again, the original meaning of the word nigga from the original word is black. And I do believe other cultures have names for each other that a lot of people, wouldn't find really savory to hear. I'm not saying that they have their own epithets, but I, I do believe that black people in America aren't the only ones that call themselves in names that people will be like, what? But that's my opinion on the N word. It's not something that you can just throw away in a box and just lock it forever because it's been used for centuries. It just happened that the most recent history of the N word, the hard ER, is far more recent. Well, let's listen to a voicemail.
Sir, I have a question. My question is, what is your favorite anime?
Well, Pixie, this is an important topic, so I will entertain this just once. My favorite anime actually growing up was Inuyasha, then it went to Naruto. I actually, I grew up watching Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Dragon Ball when it was on Toonami '04 to '07. Then it switched to Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And out of those three shows, Inuyasha was the best one to me. And then when I switched to the next three, as I told you, it was Naruto. So yep, those are the ones. Anyway, whew, yeah, the N word, man, whew, is a really slippery slope because a lot of people don't know that it derives from Latin to mean black. And I always looked at the country Niger. I said Central Africa. It's West Africa. My freaking bad. It's always weird to me because it's on top of Nigeria. And if you look at the country, when was it actually developed? When was it actually established as its own country? I'm trying to look that up. I'm trying to see when it was actually called Niger. Man, I gotta do my history again because I haven't seen when it was called Niger. But anyway, if people are curious, it was named after the Niger River, which flows through the rest of the country. If people didn't know that, that's literally what it is. And then also Nigeria, you see the first five letters, and then you see and then IA. That always was really weird. I was like, that taught me that words, once they have a negative connotation towards them, or there's variants or derivatives of them that while they look similar, they have different meanings. It's kind of hard to use that word in a way where people can respond or hear to it the way they used to. That's what it is. Then with high glucose, I was listening to a panel late last night where they were talking about their sugar levels, and for me, I am predisposed to type 2 diabetes, unfortunately. So I always take a look. My mom always is very, very cautious about that. but that shouldn't be the most cautious thing. Everything should be on high alert in general because who doesn't want to be as healthy as they possibly can be? I used to get blood tests done all the time. 14 years old, I still have records because I go to the same medical facility for all this, which is smart. It's good to keep your records in one place sometimes. When I used to play basketball all the time, play soccer. Funny enough, at 14, I was healthier at 24 than I was at 14. My blood glucose levels, potassium levels, cholesterol, everything at 24. And last year, I was even healthier. My A1C is almost below 5%. You want it to be below 5.7 or less. And that's good. And the thing is that I wasn't eating the best as I was at 25 compared to 24 because I was trying to gain a lot of muscle, a lot of, and so I look stronger than I was, but it's a lot of pounds on my body. I'm 5'7.5" that my frame probably can't support. 185 pounds. Unless I get shredded, then it'll be okay because I need to have basically very little body fat. Now I'm to the point where it doesn't hurt my back, so I know that my weight is good, but still, being my height, it's ideal to be below 160 if I'm not actually as muscular as I am right now. And muscles don't always last, so once I hit my 40s, I'm gonna have to lose the weight anyway. That's just the truth, really. When I hit 50, because that's when it's hard for you to grow muscles again. And that's the thing. And I tell people to do intermittent fasting because your A1C, which determines if you're not diabetic, you're pre-diabetic or not, or you are, just through those three. The thing is that if you have elevated sugar levels for 1 to 3 months, that sticks with your A1C. So try to go 1 to 3 months without eating sugary things such as it's gonna sound crazy, fruits, because fruits, even though they're natural sugars, if you blend them, mix them too much, that will actually cause a big spike in your blood level, in your glucose levels. You can read you can read your glucose levels by mg over dl. Those are the measurements, and my estimated is 111 and below, which is good. If an average, that's really good. And for me, I kind of need it because I'm always moving around and I'll feel dizzy. Even though I'm not pre-diabetic, I will feel dizzy because I like to exercise a lot. Because for me, if I don't exercise, I try not to eat. I just try to drink a lot of water just to make sure I don't just spike the my average sugar levels. But I really implore everybody to check your blood, get your blood drawn once a year at least, and check your A1C levels. But anyway, I just want to inform you guys of that. Bye.